Alrighty, this is We the People News. Okay, at it again. Alright, not attorney, not giving legal advice. Educational purposes only. Okay, never look straight forward. Always look around you. Be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. Alright, arm yourself with knowledge. Use that Second Amendment. Um, Moreover, even with statutes and all that, they have to have particularly definitions. Okay, and like your local towns, they're gonna have definitions. But if they change the particular definition, like right here, and call it good, then it changes the whole definition as well. So you got to keep an eye on some of these writings, which some of you people in Texas need to kind of write this down, all right, or look it up. All right, this is still Randy Kelton's lawsuit, talking about it, and we watched two videos of what they're talking about in the lawsuit, and then two videos about Randy Kelton and Eddie discussing about the lawsuit about the do and don'ts. I sat there and explained. Eddie's more in your face, wanting that lawsuit to get money, and Randy Kelton's more of the follow your lie, follow the law, and do your job, basically. And he uses the same thing officers use against you to get government to convict themselves. So he just did a, a flip of a script, and having them come out and do it. He does not try to give them information. He wants them to go ahead and create more wrongdoings to add to his list. All right, they're the ones making the claim. All right, let's go ahead and do some more of this.
Okay, federal law always defines United States with a capital U and a capital S. Period. It always uses United States in reference to any of those definitions with a capital U and a capital S. If it says United States in lowercase anywhere, that's the only time it's talking about common English. In which case it's talking about the several states of the Union. Well, the problem here is this is circular logic. State includes the same term as part of its definition. That's a circular.
And really, that's what you call as statutory construction. You're breaking it down. All right. Well, it's in conflict. So it's getting to, again, it's just in conflict with one another. And that's the reason why you got to break these down.
Logic problem. Can't do that. You cannot define a term using the same term. That's like saying a woman is a woman. Duh. So now we have to look at district, commonwealth, territory, and insular possession of the United States in any area subject to the legislative authority of the United States of America. Well, that's not the states. The states of the Union are not directly subject to the legislative authority of the United States of America. Never have been. The federal government's allowed to legislate in the areas within the 18 enumerated powers they're given. Everything else is reserved to the states. So the only legislation binding upon the states is that is in compliance with the 18 enumerated powers of the Constitution. Nothing else is. So the state that is being spoken of here cannot be subject to the legislative authority of the United States of America like the district, the commonwealth, the territory, and insular possession of the United States can be.
I I understand him what he's saying, and he's actually way more intelligent than I am. So I'm going to give you guys disclosure on that. But according to my research, okay, the state can still contract out to the federal government, which there is a nexus. Okay, for instance, the 4D program, right? It's contract, and the Attorney General of Texas entered the 4D contract to the federal government. Well, the federal government tells you what you can and cannot do, and then the state follows that, and then they also uh, extend it even more. Okay, but it's due to the nexus to the federal government, and this is what's damning us, right? We don't realize it's a contract. There is no law saying you have to sign anything. Okay, with contracts. The judge could give an order, but that's an unlawful order. He cannot force you into contract. If he can force you into contract, well, by gosh, he can force you to get internet, right? So we got to be careful of what we're entering, because in the very back, if you don't research it, you never knew you actually entering a contract, and that's what the 4D Child Support Agency is. It's a contract. Right.
Not the same thing. They cannot possibly be the same thing. That would be a constitutional violation right off the fucking bat. Everybody understand why? So using the term state to define the term state is a non-starter. Now, as I said, this is all by design. This bullshit is all intended to screw with your head. And you got to admit, it probably does for a lot of you. But it's a shell game. It always has been. This is what I tell people about. The only way a government entity can talk to you is in legalese. It cannot talk to you in any common English way whatsoever. And that is where most of you fuck yourselves over. You have a conversation with a government representative thinking you're just talking. But the problem is, you're talking in English and they're talking.
Moreover, Title 1, USC Section 1, tells you they're going to do that. Up means down, down means up. West means east, east means west. Boy means girl, girl means boy. Right? And a few videos back, right? I went in there and explained what they can do. And they kind of mislead you and trick you. Judge is going to ask you, what color is the sky? Okay. Well, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Most people say it's blue, right? But he may be thinking it's midnight, so the sky would be black. Okay? So this is what they do. You just convicted yourself because you didn't go by what the judge was thinking. So therefore, you committed perjury. You're supposed to be a mind reader, or you're supposed to have some form of clarification of all these definitions and words and timings they want, right? This is where you go back. Okay, well, Your Honor, excuse me, we need clarification here. Are we talking about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or are we talking about 4 o'clock in the morning? Right? Now we're getting some separation. For me, the sky may be blue. Okay? But for the judge, that sky may be pink because he's colorblind. So these are the way we actually convict ourselves into imprisonment. Have you heard how some people, in most cases, we convict ourselves? Well, it's the stupid games they play like this. I'm telling you, attorneys stay up all freaking night figuring out words to mislead us in some type of bondage. And just like he's saying, that's what they're doing. They're using words to put us under bondage, into enslavement. All right, they're putting us into, we are volunteering to be in the 13th Amendment slave.
Legalese. Or as a meme of mine put it, I understand the communication problem now. I'm talking in liberty and freedom, and you're talking in oppressive government. This is why shut up, keep shutting up, and shut the hell up some more is such good advice. You don't understand the language. You think you're speaking one you know, and you aren't. So, that said, how's Randy's lawsuit going to play out when it comes to saying he violated something dealing with the state? And how's it going to be trying to make an argument that the contract is between the official and the state? Well, how are we defining state? That becomes a very important issue, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and it sounds like it'd get thrown out if he throws it in there.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Just like the last one. It'll get thrown out because...
Well, it's going to get thrown out anyway, because so far there's not a damn thing in here that resembles a lawsuit. I don't know where the fuck Randy gets the idea this is a lawsuit. Okay, but the problem here is he's trying to make an argument he hasn't thought through. And he hasn't thought through because he isn't understanding the language. There's a lot in Chapter 311 of the Texas Government Code. For those of you living in Texas, you should know Chapter 311 and 312 like you know your Bible. Those two chapters control everything about how laws in Texas are written and read. The more you understand those two chapters, the more you understand that what you read in the rest of the codes doesn't mean what it looks like it means. Because it has to comply with what's written in those two chapters. And when it doesn't, there's a problem. In contract law, consideration refers to the mutual promises or obligations exchanged between parties. In the oath of office, the official provides consideration by promising to uphold the duties and responsibilities, while the state provides consideration by granting the official the authority and power to perform those duties. Judicial ethics. The Texas Canons of Judicial Conduct at Canon 2A further elaborates on this duty, stating as follows. Canon 2, avoiding impropriety and the appearance of impropriety in all the judge's activities. A judge shall comply with the law and should act at all times in a manner that promotes public confidence in the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. Yeah.
And there we go. So every judge right there, right, is actually a violation of the judicial canon, right? Because they know they're tricking you. And even if you get it right, they can still rule on the other side's favor of their bar buddies, right? Because they're all in cahoots with one another a lot of times, right? And so lots of times they violate the Texas canon, judicial canon, okay? And I've said this many years back or videos back, right? Judge Judy is one of the most famous judges on TV, but damn near every show, she violates about 3 to 5 canons in every show. In fact, this is what's going on with Judge Fletcher, because at the end, or you know, these people, he kind of goes, "What? You know how many people die of drunk driving, DWI?" And you know, he gets on their case. That's out of character for a judge. He is not allowed to do that. That's in the canon. So that's the reason why he's in trouble today, is a lot of this breaking the judicial canons on the record, in public, due to his YouTube and other YouTubes out there. So there's actually evidence, and I talked about that with him as on my videos before finding all this other stuff out, because I did the videos before he got in trouble. All right. And let's go ahead and call it end on this right here. And my next video is going to be a follow-up with the argument with Randy Kelton between them two. Okay? So I'm kind of just stepping it so we can kind of walk the steps. All right? These will be the People News. Bye, y'all.